Welcome back to another episode of
Family Meeting.
My name is Matt Glass.
And I'm AJ Tenari.
And this is Family Meeting, our discussion-based segment of our podcast. I don't know why I said it like that. Our podcast. No, this is our little discussion segment, and we try to bring just our thoughts about certain topics, a little bit more niche, less track by track. You
less
get the
organized.
Idea. Very less organized.
And a lot more personalized.
Yeah, and a lot more chill with some music. You can just crackle some chestnuts over the hot skillet over your old-timey...
That's what I love to do in February, man.
1800s, like...
stone fireplace.
In a hovel that you're listening to this podcast in.
That's true. Yeah, they only pick up frequencies like in the woods.
That's true. Not the fucking woods. But for all you hovelites out there, we have a nice topic that AJ picked out for us today, and that is gateway bands.
Yes, you know, February is the season of love, but sometimes love doesn't last. So on this episode of Family Meeting, we're talking about bands that we used to like or still do like at this point, but have kind of broadened our horizons musically and gotten us into other bands that we like more now.
It's funny, like, in terms of, like, gateway bands, yes, I do think that some of the artists that I have to, like, talk about today, they're, like, ones that I don't listen to as often.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, I feel like the framing of what I look for in music hasn't changed since I was, like, in high school.
Really?
I'm just looking for shit that is unlike anything I've heard before.
Nice.
I think I just have gone by that my entire life so far, and I'm still alive, you know?
Hey, if it's working for you, that's all that matters.
I got through one Melanie Martinez album.
And you
later,
lived to tell the tale.
Lived to tell the tale. You know, they call me the alphabet boy.
It's like a scar that's like branded across your arm.
She carved the letters into my forearm herself. But anyway, enough of that really oddly traumatizing lore.
Yeah, I've got a bar of soap stuck in my throat. It's our battle scars, our nom fucking flashbacks.
Or nom. Yeah, we're going to talk about gateway bands that kind of broaden our horizons and...
that I guess we have an appreciation for, even if we don't listen to them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make fun of some of mine because they are kind of cringe.
Dude, I mean, I've presented most of my gateway bands already on this podcast, so you don't even worry about it.
Hell yeah.
I have some that are pretty justified, and then I have maybe like two.
That are little...
Actually, three. I have three. And one of them you're going to be like, "Buh."
That's okay, Matt. Hey, it got us to where we are now.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
And guys, question of the week. Who are some of your gateway bands?
Yeah.
Artists that you loved at a certain point in time, but don't really fuck with anymore. Or artists that you have an appreciation for, even if you don't listen to them anymore. But yeah, should we just hop right in then?
I'd love nothing more, AJ.
Matt, what is your first gateway artist/band?
Ooh. These are in no particular order, by the way. Like, I did not rank these. This is literally just down the list of my stream of consciousness thoughts in my little notes here on my computer.
Nice, nice.
Well, I felt like we had to talk about him a little bit more, considering we did just have an episode with Tom a month ago.
That's true.
It was Tom Love's Bat Out of Hell.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, I was obsessed with not obsessed. Obsessed is a little bit too much.
I was infatuated.
No, I had quite an interest in Meatloaf, specifically Jim Steinman's arrangements in high school.
Yep.
And since recording that episode, I've been listening to all of his discography.
Fuck yeah.
Like, even past what I, like, had intended. Yeah, Meatloaf. I said it was Meatloaf, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I think they can pick up from context clues.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah, no, Meatloaf. I think he was definitely quite a gateway band for, like, a lot of rock for me.
Definitely, yeah.
Something about the way he sort of made this, like, I don't want to say Baroque. His was more orchestral.
Mm-hmm.
He had just this really amazing, like, orchestral setup for a lot of his songs. I know I'm in the minority with, like, For Crying Out Loud being one of the best tracks on Bat Out of Hell 1, but I sincerely think that is one of the most beautiful songs that Jim Steinman and Meatloaf created together. And yeah, no, just all the euphoria came back to me when I listened to it for the episode because, oh my God.
That's awesome, man.
And then Dead Ringer for Love. Oh, that whole album is so underrated.
I agree.
There's some fucking banger. The fucking title track with Cher.
Featuring Cher?
Oh my God.
It fucking rules, man.
I love the part when the background singers are like, I try to look away, but now the daddy got the point. Oh, it's so good. Then like I'm Gonna Love Her for Both of Us. That track fucks too. When he just belts that last line over and over again.
You know, Dead Ringer does, like, even though it does not at all reach the heights of Bad Out of Hell, it is still solid in its own right, and I feel like it does get too much hate in the Meatloaf community.
It's so funny. Like, I can't even imagine it getting any hate. Like,
I saw, like, someone call it a sophomore slump, but I mean, compared to Bad Out of Hell, I understand.
oh, without a doubt.
But, like,
yeah.
as its own album, it's still, like, pretty good.
It's fun. You can definitely tell that his voice changed a little bit.
Yeah.
But, like, it's still leagues better than whatever's on Bat Out of Hell 2.
True.
And, like, most of the other stuff on his discography.
And the good part about Dead Ringer, it's not like an hour and a half long.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, listen, Meatloaf fell into the whole thing of, like, power ballads, right?
Yeah.
But, like, let me tell you, I think, like, I don't want to say two album run or whatever. Dead Ringer needs some more love, guys. I will advocate for Dead Ringer. I think, yeah, compared to Bat Out of Hell, no question, Bat Out of Hell is better. It's like night and day, quite literally in the color schemes.
That's true.
But no, like just
give it a chance.
Really though, give it a chance. Like
it's very solid for what it is.
The opener, Peel Out, it kind of fucks. I love the way he's just like peel out, peel out. He falters pitch a lot as he keeps going in his career. It's very funny.
The character arc of Meatloaf is very interesting. At least his vocals, I should say.
Yes. You know, one more thing about Meatloaf, I just want to add. I did watch it was on like Night of Proms, I think, like years and years ago.
Okay.
He and one of his female like singing duet partners, I forget what her name is. She's the one from like Anything for Love.
Gotcha, yeah.
But she did the vocals for a cover of Paradise.
Oh,
Dashboard
nice.
Lights. They both did it, and it was honestly kind of goated.
Hell yeah.
It was years after the fact, so his voice was not nearly in the same like tip-top shape as it was. But my God, they brought a lot of character to like the performance, and like, God damn, like I was impressed. I was like, damn, because this is around the time where he was having like pinched nerves like all around in his back.
Yikes.
Yeah, he suffered a lot of ailments from performing. I don't know if y'all know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, a shit ton.
Yikes.
A ton of them.
But that's still like really impressive. He was able to do that at that point in time, and it still sounds awesome.
Yeah, like,
hell yeah.
It was pretty cool. And he got to act too, which was also like low-key kind of in his that was kind of like part of the,
ever since
the
like
charm.
Rocky Horror,
Rocky Horror. I feel like we should dedicate something to
honestly,
just talking about
maybe
Rocky
next
Horror.
Halloween special.
That'd be fucking tight as balls.
Stay tuned for that in season 3.
But yeah, Meatloaf, he's definitely he and Jim Steinman definitely a staple in like, I don't know, just over the top fucking
Glam rock.
Yeah. I
Power ballads.
I want that type of energy if I'm going to listen to a rock album. Just on principle, I feel like.
Really camp that earns its campiness.
Yeah.
With how powerful it is.
No, exactly. Well put. Very well put.
Thanks, Matt.
That's my first Gateway guy.
Nice.
The Gateway guys.
Gateway guy. Our spin-off podcast where we review fences.
AJ, what is your Gateway band?
Ooh, so mine isn't in any particular order. I'm saving one for last because I have a very, very funny story about it. So I'm going to start off with one that I kind of grew an attachment to in high school, and that is Blue Öyster Cult.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
They have a lot of really, really good stuff.
Yeah. Iconic 70s kind of horror, in quotes, rock band. They wrote a lot about like Halloween, like kind of Party City like stuff, which I found very charming. They are an incredible singles band, which kind of was why I kind of gravitated towards them. I first heard them on the radio with my dad because he was a big classic rock guy, so that got me into them. Heard like Don't Fear the Reaper, Godzilla, Burning for You, which is a song I still really love, and I was instantly hooked. So in the time when I was still experimenting with my music taste in high school, they were like my top 3. Like I love these guys, so much so that I wrote about them for the essay that got me into college.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, not like them specifically, but like my music taste in general.
Yeah.
And they were a part of it. So I just really liked them because it was cool rock music with a horror twist. There was amazing guitar solos.
Oh, there are. Yeah, their guitarist is incredible.
Yeah. I don't know his name, unfortunately.
Neither do I, yeah.
Description
I guess not that incredible if you really want. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, Mr. Oyster. Gerald Oyster.
Gerald Oyster. Why is it always Gerald?
They were just a really fun singles band. I liked the Halloween kind of mythology. They just were really just cool hard rockers in general. But even when they kind of turned it down, it was even cooler with like their more kind of slower, honestly more ominous tracks. Like I Love the Night and Nosferatu. Like those are really cool tracks that I dug a lot, and they're really cool like storytellers as well, which is interesting when they're given kind of this cool kind of horror mythology. They play with it very well, and like No More More Apparent and Don't Fear the Reaper, which is this like song about accepting death. But I kind of like fell out with them a bit in college, just because they are not a good album band. A lot of their stuff is pretty fillery. It's a lot of fluff, and it sounds pretty repetitive and similar. So kind of revisiting that, I just didn't really click with it as much as I did in high school.
Yeah.
But there's still some great songs that I love, like Burning for You. I play regularly now, and we might cover it in the band I'm in, which I'm excited for.
Hell yeah.
But bands that Blue Öyster Cult kind of got me into, I'd say Rush was a big one.
Oh, I should have probably done that for mine as well.
You said it for me, love. It's like, rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have like too many examples because it's kind of hard to think about like the Blue Öyster Cult to Rush pipeline is very muddy. I think I just kind of liked it because it was classic rock that had like cool guitars, and I was like, oh, cool, I like that. And then for Halloween stuff, Oingo Boingo, I was like, oh, like, they're singing about kind of spooky stuff. That's like what Blue Öyster Cult did, so I like this too. So yeah, they're a very kind of nostalgic band for me. I was very huge on in high school, but fell out because of their very repetitive discography. But the bangers that they wrote, they still hold up today, in my opinion.
No, I completely understand why. I haven't dipped that much into their discography, but from what I've heard of their most popular ones,
yeah,
I can definitely see why you'd like them.
There's like some cool deep cuts in their albums, like Career of Evil, like Secret Treaties is a pretty good album. Their debut is honestly solid. The album with Don't Fear the Reaper, Agents of Fortune, is just really weird. There's a song called ETI that I heard at a Planet Fitness, and I was like, why the fuck is this playing?
Amazing.
But yeah, there's a cool little rock band that I have a little soft spot in my heart for.
Nice.
So Matt, who's your next gateway band?
Ooh, my next gateway? Let me see.
Gateway?
It sounded like you said gateway.
Gateway?
Gateway.
Don't walk, gateway.
If you want to destroy my
sweater.
Whoa. Anyway, yeah, my next gateway band. A couple things I actually should probably ask you. Okay. How many do you have?
I have 5.
You have 5?
Yeah.
Okay, I have maybe like 6.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of these are going to waver in between like rock and then like indie. Because I think those are the two genres as a whole that I've like explored the most.
Yeah.
But we're going to keep going with rock for a little bit.
Cool.
With a band that I think really catapulted me into like just overall expectations of like showmanship in music. And that would be Queen.
Nice.
I fell in love with Queen when I was like in 8th grade, I think.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like, of course, it was Bo Rap. Bo Rap was kind of the biggest, like, that was like the
Obviously,
song.
yeah.
Because everybody's like, oh my God. I remember like the Suicide Squad trailer.
Oh no.
The Suicide Squad trailer.
Oh, rough.
Do you remember how fucking cool that trailer looked and how much of a letdown the movie actually was?
I'll agree with you there. I was so hyped for that movie because I love the Suicide Squad.
Yes, they're such a cool
like team. Like the Marvel ripped them off.
And then DC fucked things up with David Ayer, and then the movie sucked ass.
Yeah, and then it tanked, rightfully so, because it was awful. But then James Gunn saved the day in 2021.
Oh my God.
Made a really good Suicide Squad movie.
I fucking love that film so much.
It's honestly genuinely really fucking good.
It's so, that's a whole podcast episode in itself.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing the trailer for Suicide Squad, David Ayer, and I thought to myself, what the fuck is this song? And I couldn't believe it was all one song.
Yeah.
I could not believe that. I was in such amazement. I was like, there are songs like this? And I feel like, honestly, with the way songs are like structured, it really just, it was the most unique thing at the time, I think, that I had heard dipping into like older music. Because like I had listened to like some new music here and there, but like not really like consistently as I ever would have with Queen. Bohemian Rhapsody, I mean, obviously, like, it's a classic, but it is my least favorite from how overplayed it is.
That's totally fair, yeah.
It's still amazing, though. It's just personally my least favorite, everybody. But I would say, though, like, oh my God, going through Queen's discography was just, like, a treasure trove of, like, such fascinating deep cuts and, like, really cheeky instrumental tracks.
Yeah.
From some crazy like vocals on Hard Life off of The Works to like Seaside Rendezvous on
Night at the Opera.
Night at the Opera. Like, oh my gosh. A lot of people like to try to map out like Freddie Mercury's like good era, like the eras of Freddie Mercury, I guess. I love his older stuff.
Like from Queen 1, Queen 2?
Like I'd say from like Queen 1 to like, oh my God, maybe like Jazz.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
that's a great fucking run. All their 70s stuff is fantastic.
Like Queen 2, for me, like
I mean, but you know, Ogre Battle.
The Ogre Battle's pretty, and Nevermore.
Yeah.
Oh my God, like all that shit, it's great. That's just the one I haven't listened to like the most.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I love Sheer Heart Attack.
Sheer Heart Attack's fantastic.
I fucking adore News of the World. I love Night at the Opera and Day at the Races, and I have a very soft spot for jazz.
Jazz is great.
Jazz is oddly somber. Jealousy? Like, excuse me? No, but yeah, like I jumped into their discography with just like this wide-eyed, bushy-tailed.
Go on.
Sorry, I don't know why I felt the urge to say that. The urge.
Because it was just so accurate, you know?
Just so accurate, yeah. I'm Scrat from
Ice Age.
Ice Age, yeah. No, like I jumped into the discography just like so excited, and then I found all these amazing tracks with all these like really cheeky Baroque kind of like feels to them. Like when I heard A Night at the Opera for the first time, I like begged for Christmas for my parents to get it for me on vinyl.
Nice.
And I just, oh my God.
That's awesome.
Like upon re-listening to their stuff, I was just like, yeah.
This
is the one. Yeah.
My favorite Queen track.
On Made in Heaven. I can probably tell you like any, like if you name a song, I could probably place
what
it
album
on,
it's
like,
from.
Pretty much.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Even Flash Gordon. Oh my God. That one's quirky. I love it. But anyway, I could go on forever about Queen. I think Brian May is one of the most fun guitarists of all time.
Totally.
And astrophysicist. He built his guitar, which is pretty fucking sick. Did you not know that?
I did not know that.
He and his dad literally built his like red guitar, the iconic
awesome.
like it's crazy.
Nice.
He's just they're so interesting, and like they're such a cheeky band that were like really thrown into the mainstream at the time. And I think like the story's so tragic, it almost kind of makes their music stand out even more to me still.
Yeah, it's got like this big like legacy behind it.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
So I don't listen to them as much anymore because I don't like to stay in one place for too long as I've gotten older. But upon listening, I was like, you know what? I really got to give like albums like A Day at the Races and even maybe Queen 2 another listen.
Totally.
Just to dive back a little bit.
I mean, I think Queen is definitely like one of those bands I grew an appreciation for later. In my old age. Common theme of this season, I guess.
I guess so.
But yeah, they're just a great band. Even though they're labeled as, I guess, arena rock, they still they play with genre a ton, and it always kind of works out. And they are able to sell it in this way that still appeals to the mainstream, which is really impressive. And you know, they have their duds, of course, but even then, it could still be much worse.
Yeah, Miracle was not good. I hate that song, actually. That might be one of the only Queen songs that like I actually hate, the fucking Miracle.
I haven't heard anything from that album, at least that I know of, because my cutoff is like the 70s.
Yeah.
And Innuendo.
Rightfully so. Oh yeah, and Innuendo.
Yeah.
Innuendo's fun. Delilah.
Bijou.
But like Freddie Mercury as a front man too, just I couldn't get enough of him
I know.
when I was like a ripening teenager.
Young lad.
Yeah. I thought he was like, he just exuded this confidence that I could only like dream of having. And I would watch all the live shows like all the time. Oh, dude, I was obsessed with him.
He just fucking sold it.
He really did. He really, really did. So yeah, Queen, I'm always going to have a soft spot for him.
Hell yeah.
Honestly, I'd love to see him live sometime.
Nice.
Those tickets are like $300.
That's also true.
I've checked.
And Adam Lambert is there.
I don't mind him. He's not going to be Freddie. Nobody's going to be Freddie. Ever. Not even Mark Cartel, even though he's fucking... Do you know who he is?
I do not.
There is a... Oh, dude.
Like a Queen cover band?
He is a Freddie Mercury impersonator
Oh.
who sounds exactly like him.
Damn, that's cool.
And he tours all around the world just singing Queen songs.
That's tight.
Because he sounds identical to him. They used him in the movie.
Oh, shit.
For vocals.
That's cool.
They literally used him in the movie to like do like outdoor...
Over Rami Malek. That's awesome.
Oh, man. Just anyway, I could go on forever. But yeah, Queen, definitely in my top favorite bands of all time.
Very nice.
Also, my girlfriend and I, like, that's one of the reasons why like we bonded so much.
Hell yeah.
So it has even more significance.
That's awesome. Let's say season of love, baby.
Season of love. Here on the family album, it's the season of love.
Yeah, in our February block. My next gateway band, I'm gonna go something a little more modern that I still hold up with. As the prog guy, I'll go with one of my first favorite prog bands, and that's Yes.
Ah, yes.
70s prog legends with 2 landmark genre-defining albums to their name, and a hell of a lot else that does not hold up as well.
Like what?
So there's a cutoff where they kind of go pop at a certain point, because Owner of a Lonely Heart happened like 86, and everyone fucking loved it. And that was lightning in a bottle they tried to recapture for a while, and they just kept failing at it until the 90s when a lot of lineup changes happened. Like a lot of the big names left, and it was just Chris Squire in the band who was holding down the fort. Then they did like a collab with the supergroup that was like almost all like the classic Yes members plus current Yes, which was a disaster because, you know, it was a lot of butting heads.
Like creatively?
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
But then like their modern stuff, like Magnification, I think is like a pretty solid album, but then John Anderson leaves later after that on their next album, like 2014 or before that. And they have a new guy. Anyway, that's not important. That's just Yes lore. Here's the reason why I like them.
Okay.
So very cringe. I learned about them through the To Be Continued meme, the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh my god!
Because
yeah.
Roundabout is in there. I first heard that my junior year of high school, and I was like, "Wow, I really like that bass line. What song is that?" Discovered Roundabout. I was like, "I like this." I listened to a lot of their discography all throughout high school, and I was really into them. But then around college, I was exploring their discography a lot, and I was like, you know, there's a lot of fucking albums here, and they don't really hold up past like the 80s. And I feel like I'm kind of like getting burnt out on this band, which I feel like is how it goes with a lot of these bands. I kind of like listen to them for a while, get burnt out, and then I just don't listen to them for like forever.
Yeah, I feel like even with bands that I can still say like I do like I love Ween, but I try my best not to listen to them all the time
because you don't want to ruin it.
And like Weezer's kind of the same with me too. Like I really try not to listen to Weezer too much, just because like I don't know, I think there is a charm to them, and I want to keep it in that image and likeness.
That's how I am like kind of right now with ELO, because that was like another high school band. I'm like, oh, I'm not liking their stuff anymore. I can't listen to them right now. But going back to Yes, I think the reason why I really liked them was John Anderson's voice was just really unique because it's very high pitched, which was, you know, kind of cool at the time of the 70s because there was a lot of, you know, embracing femininity in music, which was cool. So it was kind of like very interesting hearing that like juxtaposed by the other kind of like butt rock I was listening to.
Butt rock.
And also the instrumentation was fantastic. It was stuff I had never really heard before because it was all like super complex, very technical, really awesome bass solos, incredible drum work by Bill Bruford and Alan White. And they just had a really solid album run from like the late 60s to the early 80s with some classic prog albums like Fragile, Close to the Edge, my personal favorite, Relayer. But yeah, I just kind of fell out of them because I listened to them too much, and I just found other prog albums that I liked more. However, I'm starting to get back into them because the band that I do video work for, Obsolescence, their guitarist Liam is a big prog guy.
Nice. And
we bonded over our enjoyment of Yes over tour as we listened to the entirety of Tales from Topographic Oceans to get from Virginia to North Carolina. So that was fun. So, you know, they're just a very cool entry to prog.
It's funny how like you can kind of step away from a band for a little while, and then it just takes like one interaction to just start like
rekindling.
Yeah, rekindling a lot of these memories, a lot of these old feelings and stuff. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I feel like people don't talk about like the connections that music really make between.
Yeah, but like personally.
Yeah,
absolutely. Because I actually I was telling Liam like the story about American football, like my experience with it. And he's like, you know, I never thought about that. How like, you know, associating an album with a shitty experience makes you like that album less. But he was like, that makes total sense. So yeah, music is powerful, guys, which is why we talk about it.
In terms of modern prog, I took a look at Genesis.
Owusu?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
The Roach.
The Roach fucking rips.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very nice.
Shall we keep going?
Yeah.
AJ, we're gonna dip into some indie.
Okay.
This is where my list might
Get a little kooky.
well, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention him once, because here's the deal. This is family meeting. He doesn't show up in family meeting.
That's true. He does not exist. This is a separate timeline.
Yes. This is extended universes, according to DC.
This is Earth 2.
I'm not setting that lore up ever. So I very much was thinking about how, obviously, if we're going to do gateway bands that I listened to in high school, Fun was in fact one of them for me.
And that's okay.
And listen, I actually gave Some Nights like another listen.
Okay.
And like, I think honestly at this point, I've gotten to this place where there are definitely certain things about the album that like are quite obnoxious in the production, but like I also see why I liked them at the time in high school, especially since my vision was pretty narrow in terms of stuff I had never heard before. And that brattiness that he sort of exhibits, I think I had never really heard it from like an artist before. Because I think that was kind of the draw, to be honest with you. I when I was younger, I thought of Nate Ruess as sort of this like, I don't know, introspective, sort of like reserved, slightly bitter, but like, you know, knowledgeable kind of figure.
Yeah.
And then as I've kind of explored more of his stuff, including his solo work, I learned that that's just simply not the case. I got into the format, his other band. I should really just say Nate Ruess is my gateway artist, not even Fun.
Yeah.
But because he wrote everything. But I got into like the format when I was in college, like a little bit, because I wanted a little bit more Nate Ruess content.
Because guys, who could...
Yeah.
There's always so much Ruess you can enjoy.
Easy for you to say. But, sorry.
Not for me, accordingly.
But no, what I feel like, honestly, listening to the format, while they did have some good singles, that definitely was like the nail in the coffin of me being like, oh, so there is the Ruess is loose. You know? Just
when you let like Ruess loose, you can't really reel them in.
Man,
it's unfortunate.
Have I ever shared with you the lyrics to Faith in Fast Cars?
I believe you have.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear him again?
No.
Okay, cool. Want to see me run to that mountain and back?
Want to see me do it again?
But I think at the time what I thought was like really, it seemed like he was just observant and like super like I don't know,
like knowledgeable,
reserved, not even knowledgeable. I guess just like he's on the outskirts. He's always watching people. You know, sounds like a fucking monster the way I'm describing. And I guess he is, but
according to us at least.
Well, yeah, it's true according to cryptology. But I think over time, what I thought was like this whimsy of it being like, I don't know, kind of lonely Baroque pop sadcore.
Yeah.
It was lost on me as I sort of have realized that his lyrics are just honestly him prattling on about really childish takes on like women and like, I don't know, love in general. And also kind of this weird like expectation where the person he's with has to undertake a lot of his mental issues and put up with his mental issues. And I think that's where it kind of was lost on me.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see what I liked about them. And while I do think I love the instrumentation of a lot of stuff, especially on Aim and Ignite.
True.
And even the instrumentation in like the format albums.
Format.
Some nights.
Yeah.
But like, while I do think a lot of the instrumentation's great, overall, Nate Ruess is just not a good front man.
No.
And I think him being propelled this much into, I guess the zeitgeist, considering he has probably one of the most popular songs of all time, technically. I don't think he was meant to be
so I have like
big.
Staying power. Yeah.
I think honestly they should have just left him behind as like a background band project in the early 2000s.
Yeah, he was kind of like a flash in the pan. So it was fun, honestly. I mean, like, you know, Jack Antonoff kind of like didn't have that same fate because he just won at producing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nate Ruess, he didn't really have the staying power to be like this iconic frontman that people would like, you know, recognize from like voice and personality alone. And I think the way that you summed it up was just being like really immature about these issues.
What was supposed to like, it seemed like it was, a lot of people thought like me thought like, oh yeah, he's so cool and reserved. But in reality, he just was
a loser,
opinionated, childish, irritating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he like hard to work with, or is there like stories about that?
So allegedly, from what I could tell, because they did a lot of like promo on the internet,
Yeah.
and they would do like a few little like clips and stuff like that. He and Andrew Dost got along pretty good.
Yeah.
But I don't think he and Jack Antonoff got along very, very well.
Gotcha.
From what it sounds like. Because Jack is like one of the coolest fucking musicians of all time, and Nate has a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
And while I think there was a bit too much pull
From
Nate's
side, yeah.
Yeah, because his voice was kind of the thing that people paid attention to.
Exactly.
And though his voice and his vocal stylings were a bit unethical, I think a lot of people really just paid attention to like how high he could sing. And yeah, I think that was
that was the most memorable thing about him. Yeah.
Yeah. But he looks so young.
He does look so young, even though he's like about 40 at this point, which is kind of crazy.
He's no kid. Let me tell you. He looks so young, but he's no kid. I think he's like 43 now, actually.
God damn.
Yeah, at this point.
Wow.
I feel like he ages a little bit every single time like I talk about him.
That's true. He grows another crow's foot every time you talk about his age.
Yeah, just one singular one.
Yes.
But yeah, I think Nate Roos in his collective work with
Projects,
fun,
yeah.
the format, and then his solo career, which, oh man, I'm bringing that to you at some point.
Yeah,
to
I know.
listen to.
That's a whole other can of worms we'll get to.
And we're watching the short film.
Oh,
we have to watch.
let's go.
It has Tessa Thompson.
Tessa Thompson.
Yeah.
I know that name.
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie.
Thor.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
She's done other things. I should point to a better thing. But yeah, no, we're getting the whole grand romantic experience.
Oh,
AJ.
let's go, dude.
So look forward to that.
God, I can't wait.
But that's my other gateway. That's my third one, I guess.
Nice. My third one is Snarky Puppy. Have you heard of them?
I have heard of them. I know nothing about them.
So they're a very, very brilliant New York-based jazz band that records all of their studio material live.
That's quite remarkable.
Yeah, they have an audience with them when they record all of their material with like headphones hooked up so they could hear all their instruments playing. So you see like all their music videos. It's a really cool gimmick. And they're really talented musicians. This was kind of like the first jazz artist that I really got into back when I was in high school. And it was kind of like the first quote unquote cool band I liked, because I was like, oh, like they're like kind of like unknown. Like these people are like super like underground, like mainstream, but like these are like one of the most like popular modern jazz artists of all time. Like at this point in time. But I learned about them because I worked this job as a camp counselor at this music school.
Oh, wow.
Because at the place where I got lessons, they had this program called Rock Camp where they would bring in groups of kids to learn a set list of songs and then play for their parents at the end of the week. So one of the other camp counselors that I worked with named Mark, he kind of like was asking about music taste. And this was at a time when I had like no definitive music taste. I was like, I don't really know. I just listen to like what my parents listen to or what's popular. And then he's like, well, check this out. And he showed me Snarky Puppy. And he's like, well, this is what I like and here's why I like them. And if you like them too, then go for it. And it kind of helped me explore how I listen to music and kind of broaden my horizons of what I like. And when I got into high school and I joined like marching band and stuff, a lot of other people really like them too because, you know, band kids are nerds, they're music nerds.
Naturally.
I was like, oh, you know them, you like them too. That's so cool. So we bonded over that. I actually saw them live my senior year of high school with some friends, which is really cool. I think the reason why I kind of lost interest in them was because much like Yes and I guess Blue Öyster Cult, some of their albums don't really kind of hold up. They have like a couple phenomenal records ground up and We Like It Here are great, but projects like Tell Your Friends, which is kind of a hot take, I feel like is a little boring. Cement, it has its high points, but the overall project is a little mid. And then the family dinners are really cool in concept where they invite guest stars and on each of their tracks to provide vocals because they're usually a primarily instrumental band. But a lot of them are pretty hit or miss. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it was just kind of a lot of inconsistency that I didn't really like, and much like these other artists, I just kind of got burnt out on them.
Yeah.
But they released an EP back in 2022 that my friend from high school, Jared, was like, hey, did you hear this new EP? And I was like, no, I haven't listened to Snarky Puppy in years. Let me check it out. And it was really good.
Oh, nice.
So I'm starting to get back into them. I'm grateful for Mark for helping me shape my music taste a little more.
Shout out to Mark.
Shout out to Mark Hull. You're a G. I miss you. I haven't talked to you in years, but you were a cool fucking dude. And they're just really talented musicians that I would definitely recommend to anyone who wants to get into jazz. They kind of helped me kind of prepare myself to get into more jazz artists like Heavy or Weather Report, like Cassiopeia, the jazz fusion stuff. So yeah, really awesome jazz band. I'd recommend checking out if you're into it.
Snarky Puppy.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Also, killer performers live. That was a really fun concert.
Nice. Guess it's my turn.
I guess so. Number 4.
Number 4. So we're kind of in the indie section of like, I guess all the artists, because I kind of just grew up on rock and indie, if you want me to be frank with you. But a group that I have like kind of an interesting history with, because it never really felt like they were like my band, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. They were a band that I realized I had listened to pretty much all of their material of, but like I don't consider them like, oh yeah, like they're not in my top 10 like favorite artists, at least not right now, of all time. It's Group Love. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know them?
I think you've mentioned them before.
I have.
Yeah, but I don't know them, like their music personally.
They're do you know the song Tongue Tied? Where it's like, don't take me tongue tied.
I don't think so.
It's like a staple in, I don't want to say indie. I'd say more like maybe indie pop.
Okay. Do you want to listen to it?
Alternative. I mean, if we can.
Yeah, we could stop recording, come back.
Sure.
All right, we'll be right back. I remember that song. I didn't know it was called Tongue Tied.
Yeah, it's called Tongue Tied. It's off of their album Never Trust a Happy Song, which I believe is their first album. And it catapulted them in popularity.
Yeah.
Because that album, like, it's like a mix of sort of like folk sort of like feel, but it also has a lot of like synth work on it. Which I really liked when I first listened to it, Never Trust a Happy Song. And I really like their album Spreading Rumors. They have a few other ones. I think it's called Big Mess, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I'd say that album is probably where I started to not really like them as much. By the time it was up to their third album, I believe, is when like I had gotten into them.
Yeah.
Like it had already been out, I'm pretty sure. And then since I've got to college, 3 albums have come out. They just keep fucking cranking them out. Some of them are a lot better than others. Let me tell you. My whole thing with them is like, I do like them as a group. I totally like them as a group. Like they're cool, and I have a fun little story.
Okay.
But at the same time, I feel like with them, they went a lot more pop, and they had a pretty solid setup for like rock stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and they had some pretty cool like guitar solos. They have a lot of really interesting like songs called like Colors, Itching on a Photograph. What other ones do they got? They got off of that album, they got Lovely Cup. That's a great song. It's one that people don't really talk about.
Nice.
But then they got like other tracks I love, like Spinning. They have I'm With You off of their Spreading Rumors album. Like I'd say everything up to Big Mess, or anything past Big Mess, is where I kind of stopped like really loving.
Yeah.
They have an album called Healer that they released, I believe, in 2020. It's like 11 songs, and I did like most of what I heard, but it's very pop.
Yeah, not the same.
Not really the same. And then they released another album called This Is This in 2021.
Okay.
And I actually kind of like that one because it's a lot more like metal.
Oh, interesting.
Not like metal.
Like just like a heavier kind of sound.
It's a very heavy sound. I'd say borderline metal because the lead singer, her name is Hannah Hooper. She really like screams on this album.
Gotcha.
And her delivery is really, really good. I really like the way that I think she actually had to go through like vocal therapy after
I can imagine.
But let me tell you, it was cool. And then after that, I have not listened to like anything that they've put out. They released another album in like last year. I Want It All Right Now. I have not listened to it yet.
Just like the direction that they've been going in, you just don't really vibe with.
In terms of like what makes them interesting, it's just kind of gotten really generalized.
Gotcha, yeah.
They never really sang about anything that was like super like, oh.
Like unique kind of, or like interestingly relatable.
Well, I don't know. It's weird to describe because they have like songs called like Beans on Pizza and like Borderlines and Aliens and shit. Those are 2 songs I don't really listen to be honest with you. But like, and they have like really out there lyrics, but to be honest with you, it kind of just feels like nothing. when you listen to it.
Yeah.
Because I tried re-listening to a bunch of their stuff. First of all, I found out that I really do not care for the lead singer's vocal delivery anymore.
Gotcha.
Not Hannah Hooper. There's another singer named Christian Zucconi. I don't really care for his delivery anymore.
I see.
To be quite honest with you. But I do have a funny, not funny, it's not really funny at all. I do have a story about the other singer, Hannah Hooper.
Okay.
I feel like I'm jumping. I am so sorry.
It's okay. It's family meeting. That's what we're supposed to do.
She one time announced my Instagram handle like on a live stream.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
Yeah, there was a song that they said they were gonna play this. It was during quarantine. They said they were gonna play their one album, Spreading Rumors, from top to bottom. And I sent in a comment in the chat like, I need to hear Biting the Bullet, which is one of my favorite songs by them at the time. I need to hear it live. And she replied, like verbally, it was like, we'll play it live, Scotch Glass.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, man, I really fucking wish that I had some way to prove
record
this is
that,
true.
yeah.
Wow. That's...
Does that live stream exist anywhere?
Probably not. It was like an Instagram one.
Ooh, yeah, that's
'Cause
tough.
Those were happening all over the place during quarantine.
Yeah.
But that is one cool moment. But I don't know. As much as I think their music is very like easy on the ears, I think their older stuff is really where I liked a lot of it.
Yeah.
They just kind of went in a weird direction where their music is just like not that interesting. I feel like it's also because they switched drummers. Their one drummer, Ryan Rabin, was like really cool. And then they just kind of were like, nah, never mind. He's gone.
We need something more that the kids will like. Something more mainstream.
I don't even know if it's weird to even call them mainstream because like they have lyrics that are definitely not like mainstream, I guess, appropriate or whatever.
Would it be like more in terms of like the structures kind of and the sound is more shiny, more clean?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
I feel like they had a bit more of an abrasive production that I kind of was digging for a little while. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've never like listened to any of their new stuff and been like, oh yeah, that's it.
It's all just been like, it's not the same.
Yeah, and just when you don't have the original like oof of what it was before, but you just are hearing Christian Zucconi's like whiny vocals, it kind of starts to get like...
Yeah, it's a losing combo.
Yeah, so they're definitely... I'd say they're probably one of the only gateway bands that I genuinely... Well, besides fun, that I genuinely like don't really...
Have a desire to go back to, yeah.
At least willingly, you know?
That's
Strap me to a chair and then we'll just see... Any of the Hannah Hooper songs, I like a lot of her stuff, but I don't know. Their lyrics are too vague for me. I don't. I like something more concrete,
more substance.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I guess I got something similar for my next gateway artist. This is Uriah Heep.
I've heard of them.
This is a prog band that I got into early college. Very over the top, almost glam progressive band that has some genuine bangers, but a lot of fucking stinkers. Yes, they also have a very big discography. But I soon came to realize that it's all filler, no killer, unfortunately. So the way I discovered them was, again, through another meme. It was prog rock bands portrayed by SpongeBob. And the way they were portrayed was the Goofy Goober guitar solo in the movie. But like with one of their songs playing over top of it. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'll check that out. And I really liked it. They have some pretty good albums like Magician's Birthday, The Wizard are pretty solid. But like, it's... really like over the top, in your face, like Deep Purple-esque, like kind of proto metal with like a prog twist because they're talking about wizards and shit.
Yeah.
So it got like very old very fast. These are probably like one of like the quickest gateway bands I kind of went through. It was like the end of my freshman year of college to like the beginning of my sophomore year, and I was like, yeah, these guys aren't that great. I'm good. So yeah, much like Group Love, I don't really have a desire to go back, but there are some really good songs like Lady in Black off of Salisbury is great. I think the title track from that album is also really good. Really cool composition piece. The most of Magician's Birthday is solid. The Wizard from The Wizard is honestly just a really good song, but it did lead me to discover more prog bands that I actually like that are more kind of in line with the classic stylings. Like we got Steven Wilson, we got Soft Machine and Camel that are play more to the jazz side of progressive rock than the metal side. And they do it in ways that is not so so goofy and just
goober,
uninteresting. Goofy and goober,
yeah,
one might say. But yeah, they're just kind of whatever.
I see. I would say these like Group Love and this next artist kind of catapulted me more into indie. So after I got tired of fun, I was like, you know what? it's a project. They have other members. They do other things.
Yes.
When I started listening to Jack Antonoff's old group Steel Train, I didn't like it. No, I personally, it just sounded really not interesting.
Gotcha. That was a nice subversion of expectations, man. That was good.
I wish that was on video. Personally, I was just like, whatever. But Bleachers is actually what I was going to be getting at.
Okay. Band we covered on the main show.
Yes. Tune in. Yeah. We're playing all these live. I don't know.
That's true. This is all going over air. We have so many fines.
No, we're touring actually. We're actually gonna be playing all of our hits.
Yeah, we're broadcasting on a van.
No, we're gonna redo all of our episodes verbatim.
Oh, that's so good. We do like table reads. We have scripts of all of our transcripts of all of our episodes.
I do not want to fucking do that.
That's awful.
That sounds fucking.
We have like a sound guy who does all the effects on like the side.
On, like,
yeah,
a launch pad.
No, they're all practical.
Oh my god. Yeah, listen to our final episode of season 1 where it's Gone Now and In the Court of the Crimson King.
Yes.
I almost said in the courtroom of the Crimson King. What's he going to court for?
Looking at that face, something not too good. He looks very guilty.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. But back to what I was originally going to say. Yeah, I really fell in love with the sort of abrasive charm that I think Bleachers has. Each album, I feel like, has been so different than the last. Like, it's weird. Their first album, Strange Desire, that was one where I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
It's really synthy and stuff. But then I heard, like, some pretty bass-ackwards production on Gone Now.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was like, whoa, that's so cool.
Yeah, because you never heard anything like it. I'll say I never heard anything like it when we did that episode.
No,
yeah.
I feel like it really got me into, I was like, I wonder if there's any, that was my moment. You had a moment that you described where it was like, I wonder if there's any other music that sounds like this.
Yeah.
If there is, I want to look for it. And that's what got me into like indie being sort of like my main, probably maybe like second main genre for like years and years and years.
Nice.
I loved Gone Now. I fell in love with it like right away upon listening. Good Morning was like my favorite fucking track. I still listen to it and I'm like, yes.
Nice.
Absolutely. Even if the production's like all over the place and playing with channels.
Yeah, but that makes it like unique and cool.
Yeah, and he is a fucking master producer. He's been making money moves.
Yeah, man.
With like Lana Del Rey, Taylor Swift, who at time of recording has just been announcing that they have a new album coming out.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Another era.
Possibly. I mean, there are a few more that we're expecting anyway. But
yeah. I had a question.
Why am I saying we're expecting? What the fuck am I?
Guys, we're expecting.
What am I? Yeah. Oh man, what were you gonna say?
Baby album. So did you watch the Grammys at all? Because at the time of recording, it's the day after the Grammys aired.
Yes.
Did Taylor Swift win Album of the Year?
I think she might have.
Oh no, that sucks. She already won Person of the Year. Come on.
Possibly. Don't fact check me on that.
All right, that'll be probably description correction then.
Whoops. I don't recall.
I was just curious.
I didn't watch the Grammys.
Gotcha.
Maggie, our friends Maggie and another friend did.
Gotcha.
That I did not mention on the podcast. So I'm not going to just start naming them if they don't want to be named.
That's true.
But
we only introduce lore when they want us to.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, no, I fell in love with Bleachers, and then I remember being like, wow, just listening to Strange Desire and Gone Now, it's a lot. I'm getting kind of let down.
Gotcha.
And then they released Take the Sadness Out of Saturday Night, which has started a whole ass like fucking new wave, not new wave like the genre,
yeah,
but like a whole new like tone sonically.
Okay.
They started dipping into more like retro production styles. Like all of his music sounds like older music now, and it's crazy. It's all this like rockabilly stuff.
Oh,
and like,
really?
Yeah.
Was this like the most recent one, like 2023?
Let me see. I forget when this album came out, because it came out sometime it's called Take the Sadness.
Saturday Night. Because like didn't Bleachers also just recently put out an album like really fucking recently? Or was that just like teased?
It's being teased right now.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of.
They're releasing another album this year.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah, 2021.
I see.
They released Take the Sadness of Saturday Night, and yeah, no, at first I was like, what the fuck is this? But now I'm preferring their newer stuff more than their older stuff.
Interesting.
I'm finding.
Huh.
I think like while I do love the really fun electronic elements on Gone Now and
Strange Desire.
Strange Desire.
Yeah.
While I do really like the really overly electronic elements of that, as a guy who now has been more into musicianship, I feel like I really have to appreciate just like the members of his band and how fucking good musicians they are.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. And I'm so stoked for their next album.
Yeah.
I hope it's good. They seem to be honing in on this old sounding music kind of sound. So
Cool.
I'm stoked to see what they're going to do next.
Yeah, I'd be interested to like hear it because I mean my only exposure to Jack Antonoff, besides like all his production stuff, is Gone Now by Bleachers, which was a very uniquely produced album. That while not entirely my thing, I'd be curious to hear how they kind of go from that because it was just such its own thing.
Yeah, I'd say the last 3 albums sound nothing like each other.
Cool.
The first one is insanely like synthy. The second one and has like the first one is like these really sort of electro kind of like vibe to it. The second one has like this really sort of broken sounding production vibe, and then the
Sadness Night.
Take Sadness Night. Yeah, that one is just like very retro and has a lot of really fascinating production choices and instrument choices. Like there's some classical shit on there.
Oh,
it's interesting. And I still liked it, but I'm starting to like his newer stuff more than his older stuff.
Gotcha.
So I haven't really grown out of him yet. I'm intrigued to see what he does next.
Oh, well, this brings me to my last gateway band. This is the one I've been saving. This is one that I'm embarrassed to have liked. This is polarizing corporate 70s arena rock band that you either love or hate. This is Styx.
Ah, yes. I almost got a Styx album for this.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You were...
Oh, that's right, for the podcast.
When we
were
planning, AJ almost gave me a Styx album.
Who knows? There might be one in the future.
No,
but
boy.
At our current schedule, it's not planned. But stay tuned.
Oh, yeah. Stay tuned.
So again, like Blue Öyster Cult, I discovered them through the radio, probably through their song Renegade, one of their most popular. And I like the sound. I like this kind of like hard rock. I like Dennis DeYoung's voice. God knows why. I guess like the personality was interesting. I liked all their hooks, just how kind of like hard rock it felt at the time. And I also wrote about them in the college essay that I wrote about Blue Öyster Cult. And I had this class that I wrote it for. It was called Career Development, which like every junior in high school had to take. It was a requirement. And one of the assignments was the college essay. And I wrote about my music taste. And the teacher for that class gave me half a point off because I mentioned Styx.
Ah, okay.
And he wrote this whole paragraph about why I am wrong for liking this band. So Styx got me a point off of an assignment and a scathing from my teacher for having shit music taste. And I still liked them until college.
I see. Is there a reason why people don't like them as much?
They feel, I don't really know. I guess because like, from what I remember, they're just like really lame. They're just they're very cheesy is one of the big things. There's a whole That 70 Show episode about why they hate Styx. But in the end, they all kind of like it. It's like a fun little twist. They're also very corporate rock. So, which I guess kind of goes against, the rock and roll kind of mindset. They're very kind of like a very safe band to listen to.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then eventually, when Dennis DeYoung kind of got more control, he started doing some more experimental, ambitious things, like on Kilroy Was Here, the song Mr. Roboto.
I know that song.
People don't really like that album. It's not very good. It's an album that kind of tore the band to shreds afterwards. There's a whole video essay by Todd in the Shadows on a series Train Records that explores the history of that. But people also didn't like that, which lost them even more listeners because they wanted that classic Styx hard rock grit and got this weird experimental, like, ballady shit about robots. I guess they also don't like it because the ballads are very soft and wimpy, and Dennis DeYoung is not a very masculine frontman.
I see.
He's very, very tender with his emotions. Like Babe is like one of their most powerful. Was like a ballad. I like that song, but it's very, 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 very wimpy. So I just realized that they are not very good, and especially album-wise, their albums are fucking terrible. Even like their best ones, like a C tier, unfortunately. So yeah, it's just an embarrassing kind of point in time, and even though I disagree with the teacher giving me half a point off on an essay for an opinion, I agree with that opinion now, and I think that's fully justified. So yeah, it did get me into like Queen and Boston, like more arena rock bands, but that's not really my scene. Queen is great. Boston is not as good. They have like one really good album and they just kind of peter off. But yeah, Styx is not very good, and that's my TED Talk.
I see.
Yeah.
Have we done 5, both of us?
That's 5 for me. Yeah, and that's 5 for you.
Okay.
Do you have one more you'd like to share?
Yeah, I did have one more. I'll keep it brief. Because I didn't write a ton about them because they are a band that I've kind of fallen out of love with. Because I did re-listen to them a bit and I was like, I think this is just teenage hype. So I tried to advocate for Bastille for a while now. And the farther and farther back I go, I realized that just the only thing I liked about their music was just like the voice. I still like his voice. I don't give a shit. But like is his singing style and the instrumentals. But even then, a lot of the instrumentals, especially in the older songs, they're just fine.
Yeah.
They have like one little gimmick. Like there's a theremin on their one song, Laughter Lines, which I do like that song a bit. There's like a little place in my heart for it.
Yeah.
While there are definitely some songs by them that like I still kind of hold dear to my heart.
Yeah.
Because they're actually another band that like my girlfriend and I kind of liked for a little while. I definitely do not hold them in the same sentiment as I do with Queen, because at least Queen had like a way with lyricism that was like really enjoyable and like fun and sometimes even slightly thought-provoking. I feel like with Bastille, I don't know, just he's not a good lyricist.
No, he's not.
I don't think I realized how bad of a lyricist he really is. While I do really like the production on Doom Days, a lot of that is just like, it's so like quarantine, like conspiracy theory.
Oh.
Before it even happened.
Oh, wow.
Which is crazy.
Damn.
And I think that's around the time where I really was like listening to it a lot. And I was just like, wow, upon re-listening to it now, I was like, wow, I'm really not about this at all anymore.
Yeah.
And then like, I tried to listen back to Wild World. While I did think that album has some fun little choices, the album and the songs are too long. That's the other thing too. The songs are just too long.
Yeah.
Bastille songs are just way too fucking long.
I mean, I didn't have that experience with the album that we covered, Give Me the Future.
They got shorter.
Yeah.
Which is a strength now. But let me tell you though, All This Bad Blood, Wild World, fuck sakes, man, they are long.
Yikes.
I still kind of like Doom Days. But it's just for the melody and just they take a fun little turn. I just feel like, I don't know. I think I can leave them where they are.
Yeah, I mean, from what I heard off Give Me the Future, I will agree that Dan Smith is not a very good lyricist. It feels very out of touch.
That's the worst of it. That's definitely the worst of it.
Yeah.
Like, I would say that is without a doubt, Give Me the Future is like the worst of his lyricism. It does, like, going farther back, I really thought like, oh, well, there's got to be, I'm like, yeah, like musically it's catchy, but
it's like, more of the same.
A lot of his lyrics don't flow well either.
No, not really.
Like, he's just not good at like, it's all clunky and it's all like, I don't know. I think they're definitely a band that I've grown out of for better or for worse.
Gotcha. Well, I'm glad you're on my side now, Matt. Actually, no, I'm sorry to hear that,
it's okay.
This artist you like is now no longer doing it for you.
It's okay. They're a gateway band for a reason,
Exactly.
You kind of just have to keep moving forward.
Yeah. And
call me Miss Moving On, as Fifth Harmony says.
Amen, brother.
As Camila Cabello once said. I think she was in that group.
She was in a literal gateway band to further her own career.
That's true. That's true. Mostly because the other bandmates really fucking hated her a lot.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, a little bit. But anyway, I think will that bring us to the end of the episode?
I think that will bring us to the end. But before we wrap up, I said something about, Family Meeting being a very personal show, and I think now we can take the time to get personal with our audience. And thank you guys for listening for one full year fully. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, guys. Thank you so much. I know we've said it a few times, like quite a few times. AJ describes it as a development hell.
Yeah.
When we tried to get this off its feet, it was definitely, not going great.
Yeah, we really couldn't foresee this show ever happening, let alone just let alone the progress that we've made over a year.
A little bit of an insider if you want to know what took us so long. Not that they were like demanding it before we even released it, but part of the reason why we started releasing the episodes like in January, we had recorded them actually in like
October.
Yeah. And
I started planning in like September even, of 2022.
AJ literally came up to me and was like, "Do you want to start a podcast?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure, man." And I was so fucking nervous because I didn't think I had enough to say. But
look at you now.
yeah, here we are, and part of the reason why little fun I'll let them in on a little bit of the
the behind the scenes,
why it was such a nightmare. Our photographer for the original picture, the guy that we wanted could not fucking make availability to save our lives.
We was abysmal to track him down. We could not get it.
Crazy. Like we kept trying, and then like it was also a matter of like location too.
Yeah, also distribution. That was like something I had to figure out and kind of like get acquainted with. And yeah, so we basically had like sat up on this pile of episodes for like months and months just waiting to get this like goddamn fucking picture taken. But then it finally happened, and a year later, here we are with new pictures.
I have no idea where that sweater is. In the first picture, I have no fucking idea where
it's
I
lost
put that
to time.
It's probably a good thing based on what I remember the picture looking like. No, but yeah. Unlike album tonight, we're still here. That should be our slogan. Unlike album tonight,
we're still here.
I don't want Ben to beef with me. I like Ben.
We also don't want to jinx ourselves either, and I also like Evan.
No, I'm kidding. I wish the cameras were on for that. I want them both to respect me. But yeah, we're happy to be here. We can't believe that we got, what was it? Was it 2,000 streams on...
Oh, fucking... We got 2,000 minutes recorded?
Oh, recorded.
I don't remember. I don't fucking remember. We were over 1,000 streams now. We got a nice little following, almost 40 followers.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, and we got over 500 views on Master of Puppets on YouTube, which is very fucking cool.
Yeah.
So honestly, thank you guys all for listening. We got monetized for a point in time. That was cool.
Yeah, that was a pretty...
Then we fumbled the bag.
Just a little bit.
That was our bad.
They also kind of raised the standards like a little bit.
That is true.
It wasn't entirely our fault.
We just got a little greedy. I will say.
Just a tad.
Family Vacation did not pan out well.
No. Yeah, no.
But thank you guys for sticking with us. It's a learning process. We're having a lot of fun doing this. We hope you have fun listening. And thank you just for being there. And we hope you continue listening.
We hope to still be there for you guys too, if you guys care to listen.
Yes.
So thank you guys.
Thank you, family heads.
But that will conclude this episode of
Family Meeting.
As always, I'm Matt Glass.
And I'm AJ Tenari.
And this was Family Meeting, and we'll see you next week. Peace!